During my career with the LAPD, I've had to deal with some college student-related incidents, but nothing comes close to this. Take a look.
Does anyone want to be forthcoming on what's going on? Because you got to see it from my perspective. What the did I just walk into?
Cops and firefighters were called after their frat house fire alarm was triggered.
Hey guys, what's going on here? Sam Hells.
Yeah, I'll definitely need 133 here.
This is the alarm here.
All right, who's in charge?
Not me.
Looks like we have quite a bit of hazing. So I'm gonna ask again, who's in charge?
We can talk upstairs.
No, we're gonna talk right here. Who's in charge?
A couple of us are. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, well, we need to find someone who's in charge,
All right.
because this is ridiculous.
Okay, so thoughts from the get-go is the fact that this looks kind of weird and it's kind of dark and just strange, right? Now, you got to keep in mind a couple of things. One, I used to work actually Fraternity row at UCLA during my time in LAPD, but I was also a police lieutenant when I retired after LAPD at a Cal State University as the second in charge of the chief of police. So I'm kind of familiar with college campuses type of incidents, but nothing like this. What you have going on right now is just a hazing incident. What we don't know if there's any crimes that have been committed or about to be committed, no criminal activity. So we got to investigate further to find out what's going on. I don't know, but it's not looking all that good. It's kind of strange.
This is a police department. This stops here. Who's in charge?
They're upstairs.
How about we start cleaning this up? Everyone take their blindfolds off.
Shit.
I've already given multiple commands to clear the room and get out of here, but no one's moving. Apparently they're taking this pretty serious.
Yes.
You in charge?
You said.
Still haven't found out who's in charge?
Might want to ask our house dad.
Where's he at?
Summit.
Working at Summit.
Summit. That's cool.
So,
So,
you have
obviously-
someone else coming here? Is there
yeah,
anything I
the
can
lieutenant's
do to
coming.
help? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Definitely figure out why you wouldn't let me pass you initially.
Questionable.
Yeah. I would probably be calling your house dad or whoever to get him here,
I
since ultimately
wish I could.
he's probably in charge, right? Unless someone else is in charge.
I don't have his numbers.
Yeah.
Which probably should give that.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how the fire alarm guy set off? Or just from it's manual. Goes off.
So it's this one the hallway here. How I got set off, I'm not sure.
I don't think it was down here. It's upstairs.
I can tell you it was this one.
It was really.
Yeah.
Okay, so bingo, there you have it. Now you have a lead as part of your investigation. Why? Because someone manually set off that alarm, which means that someone in that room had to have not gone along with the program, or they were probably just uncomfortable, or they were doing something that they weren't supposed to do, or told to do something that just wasn't really part of this ritual of, all this hazing. This individual right here, you kind of see that he's kind of interfering, not being cooperative. Something fishy's going on, but part of your investigation is to find out to see if there's any criminal activity that has been committed.
You guys had to do this too, huh? No. I don't know what this is. I mean, it's not like you guys didn't know there was 15, 20 people down in your basement. Come on. It's not that dumb. It's fine.
I'm getting a little frustrated that no one's telling me who's in charge of what's going on right
I can
here.
help you out, but I'm not in charge.
Literally,
I'd like to help you, but I'm not in charge.
Yeah, I mean, we asked you to call your house dad, and you said
I don't have
he's
his number.
working.
Like,
How do you not? He's your house
no
dad. How do you
fucking
not have his
fire
number?
I don't live here.
Okay, and what are you doing here?
He's a living. He lives upstairs.
Oh, so you do live here.
He
No,
lives
I don't
yeah.
live here.
Well, he's your buddy here saying different.
So my name's Lieutenant Carlson, University of Police Department. Who's in charge of the house?
Our house dad's at Summit.
Okay, we need him now.
He's at Summit.
Okay, can we get in contact with him?
Call
So here's the
Summit.
deal. From what I'm being told, this is like shutting down chapter type stuff.
That's
I
fine.
need to start talking now.
It's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that's fine. I need to talk to people.
You call Summit.
Can I call Summit?
Yep.
I'm not calling Summit.
I have no contact with Summit. You
You're
hear my
not being
voice.
very helpful.
No, they're
Nobody
not.
in here has any way to contact the guy that's in charge of this house.
Okay, so you know what? I'll take it a step even further. Forget calling the house dad. And by the way, let's do something even better. Let's call the dean, like the president of the college university. That's the person that I'll be calling to get them down there so they can see and observe exactly what's going on and what kind of activities these college students do, right? Now, another thing you also got to think about is that think about how many victims you could have. For all you know, maybe someone was assaulted or someone did commit some type of a crime. What I would do is try to get as many resources possible so that we can investigate fully, if that's what they decide to do.
This is all going in their apartment, so we're only making the situation that much worse.
I have no contact.
Okay, we need to find somebody that does.
No one does. He's a house dad.
Aren't you all supposed to have contact with him?
I never see him.
What's his name?
Eric.
So what's going on in here? You don't know? You're just blocking the door so we can't
I
see.
don't live here.
How does nobody live here then? Just hanging out?
You tell me.
No, you tell me.
I don't know.
You go to University of Iowa?
Yeah.
You do? What's your major?
Business.
Business? What's your name?
Why?
Just wondering what your name is.
Jose.
Jose? Jose, what's your last name?
Why?
Just wondering who I'm talking to.
I want to tell you that.
Hmm?
I don't want to tell you that.
Okay. How old are you?
21.
All right.
Want to see my ID?
Yeah, you got an ID or anything to prove?
You know, I was just thinking also is that as part of the investigation is that you might want to ask this individual that's kind of like being, you know, like a little bit of a douchebag, right? Not being cooperative is, hey man, are you involved in any of this hazing incidents or this ritual that's going on right now? If the answer is no, I'm not, then you know what? Get out of here. You need to leave. Get their information because they might be a person of interest. They might turn out to be a suspect later on or a material witness to this entire investigation.
I think it's fake.
Huh?
I think it's fake.
You think it's fake? You think it's fake or you know it's fake? There's two different things there. Campus 142, one by DL number at Iowa when you're ready.
Okay, so I can tell you from experience, back in my days in LAPD, when you're telling me that it's fake, you're up to something, right? It raises my suspicion to see if you're actually involved in this type of incident, which, by the way, we have the legal right to be there. However, again, like I said before, we have to find out if there has been any criminal activity happened or is about to happen. We don't know that yet.
It's definitely not Jose.
I go by Jose.
I need to talk to these people here.
Okay, Jose, man, you probably need to leave.
Okay.
Is anyone in here that needs medical attention? Is anyone here that is against their will? Is there anyone here who is not participating in this? I.e. a leader?
Is there anyone with any sort of physical injury?
Huh?
It's almost like listening about
yeah.
with the guy standing here. What's all over you guys?
It's just water.
Just water? What's on that dude's tie?
I'm not sure if some are.
You? Come here.
Serena. Does it look like it's...
Nope. You're gonna stand right over there.
Why?
Because I'm telling you to.
It's my house.
It's your house. You're responsible for everything that
I'm in
happened
this
today.
fraternity, so...
So, okay. Check in right there. Get up against the wall. Come over here. You're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna stand with your buddy over here. Milliken, take these two, ask them questions about what's going on their arms. So, are you responsible for the house? No? Okay, who's the house dad?
I just told you he works at f***ing Summit. Go call him. Go there.
What's his name?
Eric, I told you.
Okay.
Why are you asking me?
Because it sounds like you're responsible for the house.
No.
Sounds like you have some idea of what's going on.
No.
You're not very forthcoming with everything.
How about you ask the f***ing house dad? Who are you, 30 years
Two
old?
we're trying to get hold of.
Okay, go call him. Please.
Stay right there.
Stay here.
You guys got IDs on you?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look at them. Step back. I don't know you, dude.
This is
Back up.
private property. I can stay here.
Yeah, but right now we're investigating something that's going on.
Investigating what? There's nothing going on.
You know, interestingly, you say that there's nothing going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Still, criminal activity is afoot. What I would do here in LAPD in California, we call it 148 PC, which is basically interfering with a police investigation. You know what? Let's cuff him up, arrest him for 148. You can release him at scene depending on his cooperation about it. We don't know that yet. But you know what? There's no need for your presence to be there while we're trying to find out to see if there has been any criminal activity with this hazing incident.
Does anyone want to be forthcoming on what's going on? Anyone? Because you got to see it from my perspective. What the did I just walk into?
Celebration
Nobody? Celebration of what?
of life.
Okay, sweet. Okay, the reason I pulled you guys aside. We're here for public safety at this point. What's on your arms?
Oh.
Where are you guys going now? 127, can I get you back down here? What's on your neck?
I don't know. I can't see.
That looks like blood, is it? Shining your light. Is it blood?
That's what I'm asking.
Want to taste it?
No.
Okay.
This dude.
Do you see why we're here? Why we're asking questions?
I don't know. You got the wrong guy.
Now, I have mentioned in the past about distance. Look, man, you're way too close. You can't be, especially when you're a possible suspect. Again, let's cuff him up. Get him out of there, man. Arrest him for 148 PC here in the state of California.
I was going to ask those guys questions, and then he told them all to start heading out.
What's up?
I was going to ask those two guys questions, but then they all started falling out.
They left.
No, I stopped them, but he was...
Misunderstood. Did you pull these guys out?
No, I went to go talk to those guys, and then they started coming out.
Why did we come out?
So I said that. I said they should come out.
You said it?
I did.
So you're in charge.
Not
I know you said you're not in charge.
You're not in charge.
Okay. You president?
Yes.
Step aside.
The officers finally speak to the fraternity president.
I'm going to tell you first and foremost, I'm a little frustrated, but we're going to get through it, okay? What's going on tonight?
It's their lead up to initiation.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the deal with what are we doing in the basement?
It's basically a ritual where they're blindfolded
Okay.
and get messed with.
Okay. So the entire time that we've been here, which has now been I think 15, 20 minutes, we have been demanding to speak to somebody in charge. Where nobody knows you apparently in the house.
Okay.
Nobody knows who's in charge. Like, here's the deal. We have a hazing event, right? We're going to do a report because we responded to a fire alarm, which we were trying to get people to evacuate because of the fire alarm. But from my understanding, you guys refused to evacuate from a fire alarm after an officer is ordering everybody to vacate the premise. And then on top of that, we find this hazing event. We want to speak to somebody. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows anyone. Nobody knows what's going on. This is going in a report. The University of Iowa is going to see this.
Okay.
And with the stuff going around across the country, students dying from hazing events, I'm not saying it's to that level.
It's not.
I'm not saying any, but the university has a very, very strict policy on hazing. If I can't talk to people, and if people aren't going to cooperate with me, that's their right. They don't have to speak to me. However, that means only my observations are going to go into this report. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to look worse than if people can kind of explain to us what's going on, right? Because then I can at least put your guys' side of the story in it as well. So I guess I want to know what we got going on. Like, you're saying it's a ritual prior to initiation?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'm asking for some cooperation and some coordination with your people here to just tell your people, like, hey, if that's what people need to do, just politely tell us that, right? So I guess I'm looking for you to kind of be a leader here and help us out a little bit and start trying to keep everybody in line.
Yeah,
Okay?
I apologize.
Okay, let's go back inside.
You know, good explanation on the part of the officer. I would also like to add the fact that you got to have some structure, some formality some rules and regs, more than anything is some boundaries. The fact that you didn't know kind of raises concern, not so much for the police department, but also for the University of Iowa. Now, the other thing that's going to come into play is someone has been victimized. Why? Because someone set off the alarm, which means that they were either uncomfortable or something happened, and we need to kind of focus our attention and find out to see what that is. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but we definitely should further investigate this incident.
I just want to, if we can get that guy out of there, I just want to coordinate some way to make sure that there's no injuries, there's nothing.
Which
downstairs.
guy
president?
was it?
Yeah.
It's okay. I just texted him. I said, shit. I told him you gotta leave.
It's your guys' house.
Okay.
However, if the supervisor of the house, president, says he is not welcome here, then I'm going to escort him off property.
I think
If he refuses
That dude Jose's got to go, man.
We'll walk him out. Yep.
okay,
We'll make sure of that.
I would take care of that because
Yeah, I
the
would.
longer
Chris,
he
do you wanna
stays here,
go? Yeah.
I mean, he's getting close to being arrested.
The next day, police pay a visit to Joseph's apartment after he was very uncooperative the day before. After 10 minutes of talking, he again proved to be uncooperative and difficult to deal with.
So you interjecting yourself into that conversation, what good does that?
They don't need to talk to the cops. I don't even.
Why are
speak to
you
right
deciding
now.
who they need to talk to, though?
I'm just saying, they're my buddies. They're my friends.
Right. The police are doing an investigation.
About what?
They're trying to figure out what's going on in that
What is?
room.
What was going on in the room? What have you heard?
So they're doing an investigation.
Yep.
You don't dictate the investigation, right?
Yeah,
That's for the
I
police.
don't have
That's
any
for us to investigate,
hierarchy.
right?
Yeah, I get
right. You understand that.
Yeah.
So why are you dictating who the police can talk to and can't talk to?
I'm just telling my buddies not to talk to them. That's it.
Okay. So you're interfering with the police officers'
Not at all.
job.
Not at all.
You know what? I'm going to call BS on that, because one of the other questions that should be asked, and I don't know if they did or not, is, look, did you know that someone actually set off the alarm manually down there? Okay, whatever that answer that may be. Now, do we know why he actually set off the alarm? So again, there's just a lot to investigate, because we don't know that there could have been some possible criminal activity.
He never said, "Oh, if you don't get away, you're getting arrested." He never said that once.
He did tell you to step away. He
I
told you
stepped
to
there
walk
for a
away.
second, and then he said it again. I walked away.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
So he asked you
I
to
would
walk away.
like to end this conversation right now, please.
Okay.
I would like to have a word here.
Okay.
And if there's anything actually happening, you can call me again. But it's been a pleasure. Thanks, fellas.
So this is Lieutenant Travis Tyrell.
Travis.
122. We'll take you. What'd you say your name was?
Joseph.
All right, Joseph. All right, so unfortunately for you, at this point, you're being placed under arrest. You can put your hands behind your back.
Hazing can lead to criminal activity. Hazing can be very, very dangerous, okay? So if you want to keep these traditions and these rituals, you know what? Have some boundaries, have some rules and some regs. Look, I've been hazed in the past. I was in the Navy, and I was also a probationary officer with the Los Angeles Police Department. You know what? They messed with me a lot, but it wasn't to the point where I got harmed, okay? And last but not least, do not interfere with a police investigation, because you don't know what's going on. We need to find out to see if everybody is safe. We need to protect. We need to serve. That's what the college expects out of their police officers, okay? Hope you learned something. Okay, so Joseph was arrested and charged with interference. Although the charge was later dropped, the university decided to ban the fraternity for 4 years. The fraternity is eligible for reinstatement in the beginning of 2030. Ring that bell to be notified for the next upcoming drop. When I say smash, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Please comment below, because we want to hear from you. If you would like to see me have conversations with other cops about internal affairs and other law enforcement related topics, go to the Marlon Marrache Show, okay? Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one.